Dear students, we were learning about the techniques of evaluation of capital budgeting decisions. So now we will be learning about the non-discounted cash flow method, which is the payback method. So what is this payback period? So it is the period required to recover the original cost of the asset, which means let us say if the company is investing 10 lakhs in a project, हाउ क्विकली द कंपनी कैन रिकवर इट्स 10 lakhs बैक. कंपनी ने 10 लाख डाले हैं प्रोजेक्ट में, 10 लाख कितने जल्दी कंपनी वापस कंपनी को मिल जाएंगे. दैट इज पे बैक और दैट इज कॉल्ड एज पे आउट और पे बैक पीरियड. So it is the time required or taken by the capital asset to recover its original cost. Hence we usually say that it is nothing but the application of break even concept. When we say what is this, it is basically, it can also be called as a break-even period where cash inflow from earnings of the assets are equal to cash outflows. What is this cash outflow and cash inflow? ये cash outflow, cash inflow है क्या? आउटफ्लो मतलब जब आप प्रोजेक्ट में पैसे डालते हैं, 10 लाख जब आपने इन्वेस्ट किए वो हो गया आउटफ्लो, और इनफ्लो जो जनरेट होगा आफ्टर यू इन्वेस्ट. सो दैट इनफ्लोज इफ दे आर इक्वल टू कैश आउटफ्लोज, वो इनफ्लो कितने साल में आपको हो रहा है. अगर 10 लाख आपने डाले हैं तो 10 लाख आपको 2 साल में मिल रहे हैं, 3 साल में मिल रहे हैं, 4 साल में मिल रहे हैं. जो अगर 2 साल में मिल रहे हैं तो 2 साल बन जाता है आपका पे बैक. दैट 2 years विल बी योर पे बैक. एंड हेंस इफ देयर आर 2 और मोर प्रोजेक्ट्स, अगर 2 से ज्यादा प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, 1 या 2 प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं या 3 प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, और अगर हम कंपैरिजन कर रहे हैं, द अर्लियर द बेटर, जिसका शॉर्टेस्ट पेबैक होगा, द प्रोजेक्ट इज एक्सेप्टेड, दैट प्रोजेक्ट इज एक्सेप्टेड विच हैज गॉट द शॉर्टेस्ट पेबैक period. So let us calculate payback period for these two projects. We have project A and project B, both have got equal initial investment, and the difference is that project A has got equal cash flows for 8 years, whereas project B has got unequal cash flows. So for calculating payback निकालने के लिए project A जहाँ पे equal cash flows है, when they have equal cash flows it becomes very easy. We simply have to divide the original investment by the annual cash flows which we are going to receive. So what will happen here is we simply do we divide your 10,000, which is your original investment, divided by the 5,000 which you are going to receive everywhere for next 8 years, which means the payback period is 2. We simply can orally calculate this. What about project B? How do we calculate the payback period for project B? Let us have a look at it in our next slide. Let us calculate the payback period for project B, which has got unequal cash flows. So how do we do that? We start writing down the cash flows first, the unequal cash flows first, and then we try to find out cumulative cash flows. What do you mean by cumulative cash flows? We start with the first cash flow, then we start adding 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 2, 9. Then we have 9 plus 4, 13, 13 plus 3, 16, and 16 plus 2, 18. In this way, we have found out our cumulative cash flows. This helps us in finding out where does this 10,000 lie. We can see that the 10,000 lies between these two, that is third and the fourth year. Which means what? Which means that until third year, we have already received 9,000. We start with writing 3 years. Now, how much we require? We require 10,000. So we have already received 9,000. How much more we require to make it 10,000? We require 1,000 more. We need to look at the fourth year. In fourth year, we have received 4,000, but we require only 1,000. So we can say, if we want to find out in months, the period in months, we can say 4,000 rupees in 12 months. 1,000 in how many months? So we can say 3 years plus, we can simply write 1,000 by 4,000 multiplied by 12 months. So this will give you basically, what will be the period? 3 years and 3 months. So payback period becomes 3 years and 3 months. Now, let us say if we want to find out in years, instead of months, we just want to find out in years. What do? We simply, instead of writing and multiplying 12 months here, we simply can write 1,000 by 4,000. So when we have this, we can write down your answer as 3.25 years. Now, coming back to this, project A, which had just calculated, the payback period was 2 years. and now we calculated the payback period for project B as 3.25 years. If the company needs to select, if the company needs to select between these two projects, that is, this is 2 years and 3.25 years, uh, the project which has got shortest payback should be selected. So we will say select project A which has got the shortest payback, and project A should be selected. So how do we evaluate the projects under payback method? In case of independent project decisions, when there is only single project under consideration, management will specify a particular period. And if the project falls within that period, the project is accepted. If the payback period exceeds that specified period, the project is rejected. What about mutually exclusive project decisions, where we have more than one project under consideration? We rank the projects in order of the shortest payback period will be given the rank 1, and so on. So naturally, the project which has got the shortest payback period is selected and others are rejected. Let us quickly look at the advantages of payback method. It is simplest and the easiest method to operate. It takes into account liquidity aspect. What do you mean by liquidity here? How much we have invested and how quickly we are going to recover it back. 10 लाख डाले, 10 लाख कितने साल में वापस मिल रहे हैं. That ensures liquidity, so it takes into account the liquidity aspect. In this method, as the shortest payback period is preferred, it reduces the loss through obsolescence, particularly when there is any rapid technological development. So let us look at the disadvantages of payback method. It does not take care of cash flows which are earned after the payback period. We are just concerned with the cash flow up to the payback period. What about cash flows which are to be received after the payback? So the true profitability of the project is not assessed. It ignores time value of money. The payback method which we are discussing is non-discounted payback method. So we are just aggregating the cash flows, not taking care of time value of money. We are not discounting them, hence time value of money is ignored. The cash flows that can arise from the scrap value of the asset at the end of its life are also ignored. So the basic fact that the real profitability of an investment depends on the number of years it will continue to operate even after the payback period is ignored. So these are some limitations or disadvantages of payback period. Bye bye for now.